ages away. But Cathay Pacific's early bird sale to Europe and the UK unlocks early bird pricing and travel now. Book today and fly anytime before June 30 next year. Cathay Pacific connects Auckland to European and UK destinations in award-winning comfort. Experience premium service and entertainment. Awarded World's Best Economy by Skytrax. Sale ends September 30. Flights subject to availability. T's and C's apply. Book early bird fares direct at cathaypacific.com.
The day's newsmakers talk to Heather first. Heather Duplessis Allen Drive with One New Zealand. Let's get connected. News Talk ZB.
Turn left onto Mornsell Road. The expected delay due to traffic is 10 minutes.
Fonterra is going to be with us after 6 o'clock because they have posted another decent profit. It's not a record profit, it's come slightly off the record profit.
At the traffic light, turn left.
Pretty good, it's above $1 billion, and there was quite a nice little dividend in there for people, 55 cents a share, so they're pretty stoked about it. He'll be happy with how things are going, so we'll have a chat to him after 6 in the huddles with us shortly. Right now, 24 away from 6.
Heather Duplessis Allen.
So a capital gains tax is back in the news. ANZ CEO Antonia Watson says that she supports one.
If someone had the courage to do it, I wouldn't be jumping out of bed with joy, but in terms of the overall fairness, it's probably a fair way to tax another part of income in this economy.
Antonia was not available to speak with us about it. ANZ told us this is her personal opinion, not the bank's opinion. PwC tax partner Sandy Lau joins us now on this. Hey, Sandy.
Good afternoon.
Why would a bank CEO endorse a CGT?
Look, I think around capital gains tax has been around for quite a while, and over the last few years, in particular the last couple of elections, there's been a much more discussion around it. And I guess as we look ahead at New Zealand in general, including some of the key factors like changing demographics and thinking about the level of tax that we're collecting, I guess it's one of the topics more and more, because as the country needs to grapple with making sure we are collecting enough tax to meet our expenditure needs in the most efficient manner. So I guess that's why lots more people are thinking and talking about it.
Is it? I mean, look, the thing is, Sandy, in terms of our actual tax revenue, right, it's not going to bring that much. It's less than what? Like, it's less than half of 1%. It's really hard to comply with. It's really hard to collect.
Continue 300 metres on Domain Drive, then turn right.
History on this one.
I think in terms of thinking about the overall tax system, and I think it's actually one of the questions that Inland Revenue is going to be thinking about as part of their long-term insights briefing, which is actually thinking about does New Zealand's tax system from a structural perspective, is it going to meet its future needs? And I think that's the piece around it. And I don't think having a capital gains tax is going to be...
In 100 metres, turn right onto Lower Domain Drive.
Fix all the problems, but it may be one of the few things that needs to be done to make sure that...
Turn right onto Lower Domain Drive.
...to be fixed for the future as we go ahead, go along a long time.
Let's say, Sandy, for the purposes of this exercise, you are the finance minister and you're so popular you can do anything you want. Would you introduce a CGT?
Look, I think there's a bunch of different options that could be put on the table, and I think it's ultimately always going to be a balancing act, right? And I think one of the things that we have seen, in particular in the last government, was around that discussion of something alternative to a capital gains tax, which was discussion around wealth taxes. So I guess the key thing is looking at it, and ultimately we have taxes is to make sure that we generate enough, the government can collect enough revenue in the most efficient manner. So it's thinking about, is this the best way to collect the amount of cash that the government needs, and capital gains tax might be one of the ones that's in the mix to think about.
Okay, Sandy, thank you very much. Sandy Lau, PwC tax partner.
The Huddle with New Zealand Sotheby's International Realty. Local and global exposure like no other.
On the Huddle with me this evening, David Farrar, Kiwi blog and Curio pollster, and Jack Taylor.
The expected delay due to traffic is 5 minutes.
Kia ora. Thank you.
Jack, I'm bored of it. Are you bored of it? I'm so bored of it. It's like an old idea. We've rejected it. Get something new. Move on.
Well, we've rejected it, but we haven't rejected the reason that we are still talking about it, which is that New Zealand doesn't have sufficient revenue at the moment.
Turn left onto Stanley Street.
Most New Zealanders expect will be part of our lives going into the future. And I think until we address that fundamental problem, we're going to keep having this whole conversation. I mean, you can debate about the effectiveness of throwing money at problems, and I think if we've learned anything in recent years, it's that throwing money at problems doesn't automatically make them go away. We still have a massive...
In 100 metres, be in the right lane, then turn right.
...needs in our healthcare system, and I think it is inevitable that New Zealand is going to have to broaden its tax base going into the future if we want to have the kind of country that most of us would think we'd like to live in. I also think there's still a fairness question at the heart of it. I mean, I can't get reasonable people to explain to me why someone working 2 jobs, cleaning toilets through the middle of the night in South Auckland is taxed at a marginal rate, whereas someone who buys a house, holds it for 4 years and then flicks it on isn't taxed at least a little bit on their capital gain during that period. So yeah, I think this is inevitable. And one of the things that I think is curious, Heather, is the timing of this conversation. I reckon there are a lot of people who are thinking, you know what, if it comes down to a binary choice between a wealth tax and a CGT makes sense for so many more reasons.
David, what's your polling telling you? Because a lot of the time you hear people say, oh, it's time has come. People are much more on board with it now than they were 10 years ago. What are you seeing?
People like the idea of other people paying more tax. Whenever you follow on tax, people don't want to pay more, but they want other people to pay more. A CGT with...
At the traffic light, turn right.
Because no one thinks it will hit them. But the moment you get into a specific model, and when people realise it's going to affect their batch, it might affect their share portfolio, etc., then it starts to die a death of 1,000 cuts. And this is this amusing thing with ANZ coming out for it. Because look, there is a case for a CGT if you're a purist and applied to all capital gains and you're low income tax to compensate. But will never apply to people's family homes. So that would be deeply unpopular.
Yeah.
And when does ANZ make its money? People's family homes.
That is such a good point.
We want other people to pay tax.
Yeah, that is such a good point. That's the real test for Anthony Watson's position on this. Does she support a comprehensive CGT? So one that applies to the family home, one that applies to the family batch, one that applies to all capital gains.
Jack, why should you pay capital gains on your batch?
I think it's cleaner. I also think, regardless of any asset, if it increases in value, in capital value, and you make a profit from that, then it's reasonable to say that you should pay some. Yep, I think.
But then if you think about it, Jack. So let's say you buy...
In 100 metres, be in any of the 2 left lanes, then turn left.
When you pay tax on that, how are you going to buy... And because you want to buy another...
Be in any of the 2 left lanes, then turn left.
Tax on your family home. You are left.
What do you mean you can't afford another comparable house? So why wouldn't you be able to afford a comparable house?
Because you've just paid tax on the 500 you've made on your family home.
But that house, well, first of all, I wouldn't...
So you can't afford another mill because now you've taken it off.
I wouldn't expect the CGT to apply to... I wouldn't expect the CGT to apply at the marginal rate. I don't think many people are suggesting it should apply at the marginal rate. Secondly,
so
that home that you're looking to buy... Well, I mean, that's up for debate, right? But you can make a CGT...
But you'd still be making a loss. So even if it was 5%...
No, hang on. Just go back to your economic point there. That house that you're looking to buy is also subject to a CGT.
Yeah.
So every house is... So you say you can't afford a new house. That new house, that comparable house that you're looking to buy, is subject, when it's sold to you, to exactly the same CGT.
No.
But your economic argument makes no sense. If you say you can't afford it, it's applied exactly the same tax.
Oh my gosh, being married to you must be a bloody nightmare. Listen to me. If you are selling a house for $1 million and then you pay tax, and you want to buy another house for $1 million, it's still costing you $1 million. You don't get a discount because that house has got a CGT on it as well.
But the point is that house will have also had a tax applied.
Yes.
When it's sold by the person to you, it will have had the same thing applied. So a comparable house, the tax will be negligible. There'll be no difference between the two houses possible. I get that from a political perspective, there aren't going to be people who support support having a CGT on the family home or the badge.
Yeah.
But do you think...
+64 27 417 8870 said hi. May I know what time can you come? Thanks. Would you like to reply? What would you like to say to +64 27 417 8870?
Yes. I'm coming.
Your message says yes. Do you want to send it or change it?
Send it.
It's sent.
Yeah, ration it. We ration it already. User pays. User pays. Because if you take all the wealthy, greedy buggers out and they go and pay for their private healthcare, it's taking less pressure. It takes pressure off the health system, the public health system. Therefore, problem kind of solved. The remainder of the people can use the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you
like that? Did you like that? No, you didn't, because I know what you think. I know how you vote. We'll take a break. Come back in just a tick. 14 away from 6.
Could your GPS tracking and fleet management system work smarter? Can it be a sharper business tool for you? It can when you keep track with CarTrack. CarTrack is a global leader in fleet management solutions, trusted by hundreds of New Zealand businesses. Our smart tracking software uncovers cost savings and efficiencies everywhere. It automates admin, empowers drivers, improves safety, and cuts costs. Work with our local team to drive performance with the best fleet management tools for business. Keep track with CarTrack. Find us at cartrack.co.nz.
Brighton Hearing's new AI-powered hearing devices turn the volume down.
Today, News Talk ZB Auckland community notices with stressless recliners from Danske Möbler Furniture. Relax, it's time for stressless.
Back by popular demand, the Mount Albert Record Fair. Sift through thousands of records, CDs, cassettes and memorabilia, plus Auckland's best vinyl DJs will keep the mood upbeat, and there'll be food and coffee for hungry browsers. Head along and join in the fun at the Mount Albert War Memorial Hall on Saturday, November the 9th from 8:30 till 3.
Caring for our community. News Talk ZB and Danske Möbler Furniture.
It really is astonishing. Normally I don't support Transpower paying compensation, because otherwise we'd be paying lots more for our power bills. But I think when the incompetence is so gross and it had such an impact, I think they should make payment.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually,
this was avoidable.
Quite, but Jack, should it be Transpower or should it be Omexom, who's done this for the 4th time?
Yeah, I mean, you'd think it should be Omexom, right? So there are two questions. First of all, how on earth has this person still got a job? Or how did they still have a job if this was the level of training that was being provided to them? Something tells me that Omexom maybe doesn't have the means to be paying much compensation, but it's remarkable, given this had happened so many times before, that Transpower was still using them. Although I'm not sure if Simeon Brown is actually clear as to whether or not Transpower knew about the previous errors with the bolts.
No, he said after the fact. So when it fell over on the 4th time, they then found out it had happened 3 times.
They said surprised this is the 4th time. I mean, I honestly think that Grant McKellen's got a really good point on this one. Like, I think that I think it's going to be impossible to
New Zealand who get more depressed about what's happening in America than they do worrying about what's happening in New Zealand. So that's probably quite a good place to be in when our biggest concern is whether Donald Trump's going to win or not, are the hospitals working, are the schools working, etc.
In 100 metres, be in any of the 2 right lanes, then turn right.
That we've still got that resilience, that degree of happiness, because at the end of the day, that's what government is meant to be about, that people can have happy lives.
Yeah, totally. We'll have to leave it there, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's Jack Tame, host of Saturday Mornings on News Talk ZB and Q&A, and David Farrer, Kiwi blog and Curia Polster, 8 away from 6.
News Talk ZB Auckland. Time saver traffic.
KFC's boneless bucket deal. Now the southern motorway slow southbound from Kaiba Pass to the southeastern. Citybound slow Panama to Green Lane. The northwestern a slow run westbound from Grafton Gully. The northern motorway is heavy but easing northbound between the Vic Park Tunnel and Harbour Bridge following an earlier crash, which is now clear of lanes. 10 pieces of hot and crispy boneless for $19.99 at KFC. Conditions apply. I'm Andy Harwood for Time Saver Traffic.
At Bunnings Trade, you can load up on landscaping. Grab an AEG mower kit powered by 2 18-volt batteries for just $825.22 excluding GST, and get a bonus battery via redemption. T's and C's apply. Load up on landscaping at Bunnings Trade.
Eden Park, it's a big place. I'm Blair, the turf manager, and it's a big job to keep it up to scratch. That's made easy with Wet and Forget. And like Eden Park, Wet and Forget is truly a Kiwi icon.
Available online or in Wet and Forget stores.
Hey, if you're on the market to buy or sell a business, you should be talking with Tony Van Camp. I've got Tony from Bailey's Business on the line with me right now. Hey, Tony.
Hello, Heather.
Tony, what does someone do when they want to sell their business, but they think it's the wrong time to be selling?
Look, a lot of the time I find one man
Turn right.
another man's opportunity. I looked at a business recently where a key staff member was leaving. The owner was really worried that the business wouldn't sell without someone in that critical position performing that function. I had a buy.
It's worth $1 million, but they've baked in their capital gains tax as well, so their house is not worth $1 million now, is it? No, it's worth 1.1 because they also have to pay 100,000. Therefore, so you can see where he's trying. He was like, "You've both baked it in, therefore you'll be fine." It only is fine if they give me a 100,000 discount, and they ain't gonna do that. So anyway, never mind. Let him think about it overnight. Let him think about it overnight, and like at 3 a.m. he'll wake up, just sit up, and be like, "Oh, now I know what she was trying to lady-splain to me." That's right. Do you know why I was trying to lady-splain it? Because who does all the finances in a marriage? That's right, me, the lady, his wife, not him. You know what I mean? Dudes and money. Now, I was telling, oh no.
In 100 meters, be in the right lane, then make a slight right turn.
New news, but we've got more detail on it. It's going to
be in the right lane, then make a slight right turn.
It's basically going to run on the 3 Now app, and it's going to run on TV3. A veteran documentary maker called Mark McNeil is the one who's doing it. He's been at the trial from the early stages, taking notes, sitting there the whole time. He's got 228,000 from New Zealand on air for this.
So I remember all these hairy faces, all these ugly bikers. I hadn't been wearing my leathers. I was so far out in the rocks, I would have bled to death. The stakes are really high when you come off a motorcycle because you're vulnerable, you're exposed. Never ever go out without your protective gear.
Buying or selling gold or silver, deal with the company.
In 100 meters, be in the left lane, then turn left.
For 40 years and primary distributor for the Perth Mint. Regal Bullion, 0800 881 888.
Hey guys, Nadia here. Searching for a way to get delicious dinners on the table fast? My Food Bag's fresh, ready-made meals are the perfect solution. Choose from over 15 options each week, all ready in just minutes. My Food Bag. Dinner done better.
In Auckland on 89.4, this is News Talk ZB.
Turn left.
Here until 7, it's the Business Hour with Heather Duplessis-Allen and My HR. This is News Talk ZB News.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Raylene Ramsey. Transpower doesn't believe acting on an employee's concerns would have stopped errors that led to a pylon toppling in June, cutting power to Northland. 3 legs were uncoupled by an unsupervised and inexperienced maintenance crew from contractor Amexon. The Electricity Authority